Hello there, Elden Ring loving peeps, or just new people in general that are being introduced to this world of From Software or Souls-like. So, I played Elden Ring by basically getting suggested to play this and put my hardship soul into getting devoured by this game, and it was fantastic yet devastating because there's a lot to basically understand about this game. First of all, the fighting mechanics is a lot different than Bloodborne. I mean, the only parrying system is if you have like a shield. I mean, I haven't figured that out for these types of weapons in the first place. What I recommend for new gamers for this game is to pick a build that you can really scale in different directions. So that's why I kind of like had a different understanding of the game, and I picked the samurai class first. As you can see, end game wise, I'm a level 173, but you're not start off like that. You're at a very low level when you enter this realm of the land between, and you're gonna have a hard time for a lot of reasons. First, you're gonna be under leveled. You're gonna be given off the bat pretty good armor set. Like, I think I still have the armor set available from the samurai build. Yep, it's right over here. As you can see, well, I kind of altered this, but it was a little bit higher. This was a pretty good starting class in terms of, you know, getting a really good armor set, a really good helm. So right out of the gate, you're given some good stuff. Even with the sword, this one, the Moon Veil, I had to went through a lot of hardships to get this, but I don't recommend a lot of players to go gunning for that weapon right off the bat because you're going to have a real hard time, especially when you're out the gate at a low level. You're first given a Uchi Katana. With this, it has excellent bleed and everything. If you scale up Arcane, which I never bothered really, I started doing that later because I started focusing more on vigor and putting stuff into dexterity because I knew I was building a kind of like fast moving class, and I was going to use light based weapons like the katana and everything and not do a strength build. Usually a strength build is pretty dang good because you can wield like the heavier weapons that can deal a lot of damage. But I knew from out the back I wanted to do like a battle mage where I'm wielding a weapon that can deal a lot of magical damage eventually. And over time, you're going to be collecting Ashes of War to be able to link into your weapon. So it changes up the fighting style of your weapon, or you can add like an elemental damage to that. So just pay that in mind. You don't have to pick this class, but this one was just good because it gives you a bow off the bat, a long bow, and you know, and a shield, by the way. Shield does come in handy. I know some of my crew members would say shields are for pussies, and I'm like, you know what? Shields win battles, okay? Think of it in that mindset. Shields can win battles, and I've seen people PvP with shields where they parry you and they get a critical hit, and pretty much you're dead off the spot. So, but the main thing I want to point out for new gamers is that just really go through each starting class. I recommend the samurai build, and when you enter this world, especially here in this spot, avoid the bougie that comes on a horse. Obviously, I spent a good portion of my beginning trying to kill that fucker, and I was too underleveled to deal with him. I just got lucky. But really, you just kind of want to avoid that bouge and head for the church, and you're gonna find a merchant, which he's always there, by the way. That's where he is, right there. You want to meet him. You want to collect through killing animals or small soldiers, which are beyond that church there. Avoid the big boo-boo on the horse at all costs. And just start collecting runes, which is the currency of this game, and be able to buy from that merchant. But also, you want to try to make your way all the way to the Stormfront gate over here. You can shimmy along the wall here. Once you make your way down the path and shimmy along this wall, avoid the soldiers and light the site of grace here, and that's where you're going to eventually meet Melina. And with Melina, after you engage the dialogue with her, you're going to end up teleporting, fast traveling right back to the church over here of Eli, and through the site of grace, which I'm going to show you over here. Oh, I'm back on triangle here. I need you to pass the time and put it to nightfall. It's going to switch all the way to nightfall for you. But don't do it here. You do it at the church where the merchant is. And that's where you're going to meet Ronnie for the first time. I met Ronnie there, and she's going to give you access to Torrent, okay? Which is going to be... I'm going to show you in a minute. Here we go. I unclicked it because it was pointless to get Torrent anymore. This thing over here, you're able to whistle, and you get this fancy horse over here. And then you can actually get around Limgrave really quickly and be able to explore different places. But also she gives you what you call a bell. And that bell, that's fine. She's going to give you a bell. And then she's going to give you your first ash, your summon, basically your spirit summons over here. She's going to give you the lone wolves, okay? And with that, you can actually equip this into your equipment over here, which eventually I ended up finding a OP Spirit Ash summons, which this actually doesn't run on FP. This one runs on the Crimson, basically your HP. So when you use this Spirit Ash, it takes down your HP, but the other Spirit Ashes, they're going to use FP, and there's certain ones that require a certain amount to be able to summon them. Summon them. If you're a new gamer and you're unskilled, you need to summon them, okay? You do not need to go through this game and give yourself headaches. So you summon them so they can distract the enemy. You can watch throughout my gameplays in different areas with bosses. It distracts the bosses easily so you can land some really nice critical hits, especially with your katana that does a bleed effect. It does super well. And another thing I need to mention that is super important, the different areas in this game is critical to understand that you need to stay within a certain section, because if you stray off into different areas like the Kaled area and the Dragon Burrow area, this requires you to be at least a level 70. If you're like me who's unskilled, if you want to fight anything in this area, you need to be a level 70. The only reason I am mentioning this area is because there's a way to get transported all the way over here to the Bestial Sanctum. And through the Bestial Sanctum, you're going to make your way to your first site of grace here. And there's going to be a dragon across this bridge. I want you to run past them. Don't worry, when you're on Torrent, you can get past that dragon. Try not to go too far where this Erdtree area is, otherwise you're going to deal with a very horrible boss. What you're going to do is make your way down here to the fork, and then you're going to make your way up this way, and you're going to end up at Lens Rise. Just pay mind, there's going to be an invisible ball over here that's going to appear, and that will one-shot and kill you. You need to just basically avert it and get to this site of grace over here. You can make your way this way, but this is a lot harder way to get to this section because there's a lot of poison mines within this section that can just easily kill you, and there's a bunch of little foes here. So it's just easier to just run past the bridge with the big dragon with your steed and make up this way through the fork over here to get here, because in this section, that ball going off the cliff is going to give you at least 1,500 ruins. About that much, maybe a little bit less. I'm not too sure. I have to go back through my playthrough. That's your first rune farm location as a low level player. If you can get there. How you can get there, if you want to manage it before you start exploring other different places, you're going to go and travel across this landscape over here. You can either go this way, which I recommend. From here, from the storm gate, you can make your way down this way, and then you can go up the road this way. By the way, you have to search for the maps, by the way. So sometimes you're gonna that's why I say just follow this road once you reach here from the storm gate, because you're not gonna have the map fragment yet to be able to look this area up. But you run across this bridge, then you make a left at the path, and you keep going and going and going and going. You're going to go into like an underpass here. Just run straight past that. Just keep following the road until you hit the third church of Marika. When you go to the third church of Marika, I'm going to show you exactly where you need to go to be able to access the transporter for this. It's going to be right over here hidden. Let me get it right over here. It's right there. The reason why I always put the marker on, because sometimes I just don't know if I'm going north or south. I am just like klutzy with the freaking, the compass. So here is your first transporter right over here. So, oh, he's gonna go crazy. He's gonna go apeshit on me, so I'm gonna avoid it. I'm just gonna show you exactly what I mean about the bridge over here. Obviously, I killed the dragon. There's going to be little foes like this. Avoid them because they do heck of a bleed damage. There's going to be a seed here. Grab that. If you hear the music pick up, don't stress it. It's just, giving you an indication that there's enemies nearby. You're going to hit that site of grace. Rest there for a second. Then you're going to make your way across this bridge. There's going to be a big boo-boo dragon that's going to be here. It's going to be okay because you're on your steed. It's like I said before, don't make your way all the way down towards the tree because there's going to be a big boo-boo there that's going to make your life a living hell. So over here is where Lynn's Rise is. That's okay because there's a whirlwind over here. Take Torrent and leap down. This is the only place that you can leap that is not going to harm your horse, okay? That you're not going to die. You're going to hit that site of grace. Then you're going to go down here and be very careful. I'm going to show you what's going to happen. Avoid that ball entirely. If it hits you, it is going to kill you one shot. But it gives you quite a bit of runes right off the bat with no work. So with him, once you gain a lot of runes, you can purchase a lot of stuff for him. You can purchase different armor. You can purchase more arrows and stuff. He sells quite a bit, but mostly you want to buy first is his crafting kit. So he's going to sell you your first crafting kit. You need to buy that because then you can craft your own shit. He's going to have a lot of cookbooks available. Buy them, so save up as much as possible, and those are the first things you need to buy. I would refrain from buying this shield because the physical damage on it is only 85, and you want to look for a shield that does 100% physical damage negation. You see where it shows right there, physical, right, guarded damage negation? If that doesn't say 100 on that shield, don't buy it. Don't bother with it. And any shield that you pick up that doesn't have 100 in physical damage negation, sell that fucker. Who cares? So, as a new gamer to this, that's unskilled, when you're farming in Caelid, and then what you need to do is basically clear out this area first, but avoid the dragon that's at the Dragonburnt Ruins over here. This lake here, there's going to be a big boo-boo dragon that shows up. He's not too hard if you take him by horse, but you want to avoid him for a while until you upgrade or at least get an understanding of the build you want to create. So you want to mostly clear out Limgrave first. This is the easiest area for you to deal with. Then the second easiest place is going to be here, the Weeping Peninsula. So these are the two sections when you're beginning this game that you just want to comb through and get used to your fighting mechanics, get items to be able to upgrade, to be able to also you know, collect runes to be able to continue upgrading your character. This one, getting to this island here, you kind of do have to go through the coastal cave. This is why it's important to just kind of like stick to these areas, the Weeping Peninsula and all that, because you'll be able to discover a lot of caves and catacombs. And the catacombs, actually, they have, each of them, all of them, have like an end boss that drops you either a talisman or a spirit summons. So a lot of these places you can get some neat stuff to be able to help you progress different areas. So after you're done with Limgrave and the Weeping Peninsula, then you want to move on to the Liurnia Lakes here. Now, there is the west side of Liurnia Lakes, and then there's the east, okay? I'm not sure which one is the most difficult. All I know is, like, it's pretty intimidating. There's a lot of things here that can easily kill you if you're under level. So for me, I discovered a lot of the sighted graces first, and then I slowly kind of try to tackle my way around stuff. So over here, your main objective with Liurnia Lakes, these are the different objectives you're going to have in different sections, okay? Your main section for Limgrave is going to be Stormville Castle. So really, you're upgrading your character to be able to handle this section of the game. You can hold off on doing main things because you can easily get to Liurnia Lakes through a section over here. You can watch one of my videos for that too, because I explore like crazy. So I found a lot of routes that will take you here without having to actually clear out Stormville Castle. So you can save Stormville Castle for last, and it's gonna, when you take on Stormville Castle and you go up against Margit and Godric, you know, it progresses this main storyline of the game. So if you want to avoid doing the main storyline of the game for a while, just so you can get your character upgrade, you can do that. You can bypass everything. I have done it already. So which route you choose. So Stormville Castle is your main objective for Limgrave. And your main objective for Liurnia is the academy over here, which is a little bit of a walk to get here, especially with Torrent. There's a lot of big bosses around this area, including dragons. There's going to be a lot of intimidating things the more north you go. There's also this area over here, the Carrion Manor. I would try to avoid this as much as possible, but then again, there's like Ronnie that's over here, that is that blue moon witch that you meet at the church at the first step over here. She actually lives over here in the Carrion Manor. She lives right there, and she has her own particular quest line, but to get to her, it's a bit of a nightmare because you have to go through this area first, and there's going to be a boss over here that's a bit gnarly, but because I had crew members, teammates, we were able to clear out this area, and they helped me clear this area out, so I was able to have access to a bunch of other different things here. Now, as you clear out this area and everything, which I would recommend, don't do the routes I've done because I've had a lot of help. Get your character OP by clearing out the sections that are actually based on your level. So the lower level that you are, you want to clear out this area first, and you can avoid, like I said, the Stormville Castle, the main quest line, just to focus on your character. So once you're done clearing this area, then you're going to gain access to be able to go here, which you can either use the medallions to access the Grand Lift, or you can go through the caves over here, which you'll go up against a very giant magna worm, and it will put you up the elevator to be able to put you here. But I recommend, it's just so much easier to get the medallions to access this lift, and use torrents to basically bypass everything. I ran around everywhere. And then you're going to get access to Lindell here. Well, this is the Altus Plateau. So this is a very difficult area to do. I still haven't even cleared out this area because it was just so difficult. There's creatures here that can just spread blight on you, and it's horrific. Even this area here, which is Mount Gilmere, this is very difficult too. You need to be at a higher level to handle this area. There's just a lot of things going on, but like I said before, because I'm okay with summoning other players into here and I have my teammates, we easily cleared out this area. And other things I kind of did on my own as I leveled up, and then we tackled Lindell Capital, which is very difficult to get to because you have to go up against a very large tree sentinel. So save all of this for later until you level up your character by going through a lot of these other different sections. And then you can try to tackle the main storyline, because the main storyline is going to give you access to other different locations. There's also other hidden locations let me show you. There's the well over here. These wells take you into a whole nother world. And with that other world, there's other types of bosses, and there's more opportunity to farm for ruins or special talismans and other types of weapons. So pay that in mind as well. So I think that's all I want to say for new gamers and beginners like this, especially ones who want to enter this realm of madness. Just basically start off within those sections. Really pay mind on the build that you're creating, especially on your first playthrough, not your third. I'm not even close to my second right now. I'm still holding off on doing my second playthrough because there's so many other things that I missed and I didn't collect, and I want to do that before the DLC drops in June 21st, I think. And then I'll do my second playthrough. But if you got anything from this, just like and subscribe. If not, I'm like, thank you for watching anyway.